thank you all for joining us this morning. I know it's been a crazy week, first week of 2026. Just caught up with Nick there, and obviously National Grid have also been very busy in the past few days, what with the storm in the southwest. And I know the schools that are with us today are from the West Midlands and the East Midlands, so we also got the blanket of snow on Friday as well. So an interesting start to your year, but hopefully things have calmed down this week, and we really do appreciate you finding the time to join us this morning. So over the next 30 minutes, we're going to be looking at From Funding to Impact, we've called the webinar. So looking at the National Grid funding and also how that's helped a school, and also where we fit into that journey as well, and how we can support schools. So the agenda is looking like this. Obviously, we've got a few people joining us today to talk. We've done a quick sound check and everybody has access, so this should work absolutely fine. So we've got Nick, who's going to give us a little bit of an update from National Grid, including why they have partnered with us here at Solar for Schools. We've got Afzal, the Deputy and Sustainability Lead from Adderley, and he's going to talk about the impact of solar, because they have now up and running and got solar on their school. We've got Cindy, who's joining us from Let's Go Zero, who will talk about her role and what Let's Go Zero are all about, and also how she's supported us and schools to begin their journey on with solar. We'll then close with a little bit more detail about us here at Solar for Schools and how we can support you. And then we'll have the next steps at the end as well, which will include the link that I shared in the chat. So that link is for you to register, send us your details, and we can find out then whether you are eligible for the grant that we are going to talk about today during the call. So aims from today is hear that overview from National Grid, find out from a school's point of view, and also how that's impacted on the pupils and their learning. Find out again about Let's Go Zero, and then how you can follow this up following today's call, and how we can get the journey started and pick up further conversations. So that's the agenda. It is quite busy, and we've only got 30 minutes, so we're going to get through onto the next slide. So to introduce myself, my name's Tom, and I'm the Regional Schools Advisor here. I cover the Midlands and Yorkshire. I've already seen a few familiar names and faces that have joined the call. My day-to-day role is working with schools, looking at their solar potential, and that also includes as a consultant at Solar for Schools, looking at the different funding options that are available for them. I've also got my colleague Richard on the call. Richard is our Strategic Partnerships Manager. Richard is going to be in the background a little bit today, and any questions that you've got, feel free to pop them in the chat, and Richard will get back to you. We might get a little bit of time at the end of the call, but if you can put questions in the chat during the call, that should help it run a bit more smoothly and keep to time. So here at Solar for Schools, this is our mission, and this is from our CEO, and it is all about influencing the pupils. So the pupils that were under your school roofs, it's how we can change their hearts and minds, so how they can then have that conversation with parents, and how we can have a real impact on our local community and also the environment around us. So yes, we are looking at getting solar on schools, but hand in hand with that is our education program that we offer to all schools, where they can our education team will visit the school, work with you in whatever sense suits the school, assemblies, workshops, careers fairs for secondary schools, and really bringing home the power of solar to the pupils, so they can become solar champions, and they can have those discussions at home as well. We want to inspire children and young people to live more sustainably. Alongside the education, we obviously discuss that, and also there's resources for schools to use with their pupils that are curriculum based, and they can be used in lessons with the pupils to really hit home, and again provide that hands-on learning and real world examples. And that real world example would be for the schools that have got solar above them, to really look at the analysis of the data, how the solar is impacting the schools, how the pupils can then use that data to impact on their learning, and also the benefits again to that local community. So that's a little bit about us and our mission and our journey. Now we work with around 300 schools across the country, and we're very fortunate that we've got a partnership with National Grid, and I'm sure that's why lots of you are here today to find out about National Grid and why they've chosen to work with us. We currently have got available £25,000 for those schools that are eligible for the grant. The criteria being there that they are on network operator with National Grid, which covers East Midlands, West Midlands, and down into the southwest. And also free school meal wise, they are 25% and above in school, and they're things that we can check for you if you complete that link, and we can access both lots of data for you. So I'm going to hand over now to Nick, and we're going to have a look at about National Grid and why they work with us. And just before we go on to the National Grid slide, I've just got this on the screen. I'm sure lots of you are reading that and thinking, I can guess what the answer is probably going to be, and that is more than likely going to be about money and capital and not having that initial investment to get going with solar. We also know that time has a big impact as well for schools. So we're here to support with that. So we can offer funding methods where you don't need any capital, any upfront money, and also we can help with that time because we will pick up that journey for you. National Grid are also able to contribute for those schools that are eligible, and what that does is it reduces what we call our PPA to how you then repay that funding that goes into it. So Nick, hopefully you are able to go live for us. Checking you are there.
Lovely. Yeah, thanks, Tom.
Okay, Nick, over to you.
Great, thanks very much. Hi, everyone. So, yeah, as you've been told, my name's Nick. I'm the Education and STEM Manager for National Grid Electricity Distribution. So, as Tom mentioned, I'm going to talk a little bit about why we've partnered with Solar for Schools, sort of a few facts about it, and then also a little bit at the end about our experience so far working with Solar for Schools as well, and why they're so brilliant. So just to kick off then, so we launched a partnership with Solar for Schools, as you can see on the screen, in April 2024 to help deliver on our business plan commitment, which was to build decarbonised communities and local energy schemes by providing £540,000 of shareholder funded support per year to install solar panels on schools in areas of high economic deprivation. So that was the sort of the fundamental starting point for it. Tom, if you could move on to the next slide for me, please, because so I've got some bullet points here, how it works so well for us, this partnership, and for the schools also. Yeah, I'll read off a bit about the bullet points, but also expand on it a little bit as well. So the process of engaging with schools and delivering education to communities requires resource and expertise. So Solar for Schools helps National Grid to deliver on its targets for community outreach and engagement. So we already have education targets of trying to get our safety electricity messaging out to 80,000 children per year. So being able to partner with Solar for Schools, with all the access that they have to schools, helps to develop and strengthen relationships that we have, be it with primary or secondary schools, to do our educational talks, and also to do sort of career talks and things with the with older schools too. So Solar for Schools has the pipeline of schools that's looking to install solar panels, but often, as mentioned on the previous slide, the costs are too high, and that's a big part of where we come in on this partnership. We've set aside funds, as mentioned on the previous slide, to ensure that schools can have the solar panels, and so that it doesn't come at a cost to them. National Grid Electricity Distribution is able to select the schools based on the criteria. Now, Tom did mention the criteria already, so I'll not go over that so much again, just that you're on our patch. Now, we did mention as well about the 25% plus free school meals eligibility. It's not an absolute deal breaker, just so you know. We can make arrangements where necessary to support schools that don't fall in that bracket, so it's not a complete no-go. But yeah, it's just something to consider. So the installation and technical aspects are managed by Solar for Schools. So this ensures that the schools are supported throughout the process and for the lifetime of the installation. Now, this is really important because I think this, from our point of view, and why we sort of chose to go with this partnership with Solar for Schools, why this is so important, is that Solar for Schools are not just a company that's got a hold of a whole bunch of solar panels that they're desperate to throw onto your schools and leave you to it. The difference is the reliability. They are there from start all the way through to finish and beyond. You know, the school is not going to get left in the lurch. It's about developing the relationships, staying in touch, providing extra educational resources, and really, as I say, developing that relationship with the schools all the way throughout the process. So the Solar Schools education workshops align with our ambition to increase knowledge and understanding about electricity in the community. As already mentioned, as Tom mentioned about their workshops, it's the same with our workshops. It's a lot of similar goals in terms of how we educate, both about electrical safety, about renewable energy, and how the electricity network works as well. So Where am I here? Sorry. Yeah, National Grid is able to increase the reach of its community outreach program, tapping into a network of new and existing schools, as mentioned before. And here, importantly for us as well, so even though National Grid manages the program, because of all the hard work for Solar for Schools, we don't need to oversee every individual element of it. So much of that is taken care of by Solar for Schools, and it makes it so much easier for us to help as many schools as we do already. Tom, can you skip on to the next slide for me, please? Sorry, everyone, just aware of time. Thank you very much. So a couple of little stats here, and again, a little bit about our experience with Solar for Schools. As you can see, through our partnership, 53 schools already installed or in development with the solar panels, and £866,000 already invested from us. And we're keen for it to be more. We're keen for it to grow. There's more money in the pot there. And as you can see, so it shows here the forecasted savings in terms of carbon savings. It's, you know, it's great for the environment, 603 tons of carbon savings, which is brilliant. But equally important for the schools, you can see in the financial savings, £235,000 saved on schools' bills. And you know, so it's having multiple positive impacts, you know, as well as being, you know, fantastic for the environment moving forward. It's also really, really good for the schools. We know that schools struggle with funding. We know that, you know, energy bills are expensive. So the idea here is that there's long-term savings and long-term help for everyone. And just I'm aware my time is kind of running out here. I just kind of want to share a little on our experience with Solar for Schools. It's been really great to see the relationships that Solar for Schools have built with the schools that we've funded and that we've worked with. It's very hands-on. It's really wonderful to see. Solar for Schools genuinely care about the education of the children, about the schools, you know, survival and prosperity, and it just matches the way we see education and the importance of it. So yeah, we're thrilled to be working with Solar for Schools. As I said, there's plenty of opportunity for more schools to join this and for us to support more schools with this. So we're really keen for you all to get involved. Tom and Rich will be explaining a little bit more later on about exactly how you can get involved through us. But yeah, thank you so much for your time, for listening to me. I'll hand back to Tom. I know he's got some more speakers ready, so thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Nick, for that. And that leads perfectly into the next guest speaker, Afzal at Adderley. As I mentioned briefly at the start, they are a school that's benefited from working with Solar for Schools and also that National Grid investment. And obviously Nick closed there by saying that fantastic work that we both do and how that it does impact on schools. So Afzal, the floor is yours. I'm going to hand over to you. And we're going to hear a little bit more about the impact at Adderley Primary School, which is based in Birmingham.
Thank you very much, Tom. Good morning, everyone. So yes, just as Thomas said, we're sort of central Birmingham, Adderley Primary School, and we are sort of a school which thinks ahead in terms of over the 16 years that I've worked here. We've always put sustainability, climate change, and environmental awareness into our curriculum. So if I kind of take you back a couple of years, 2024, this is at the time at which, you know, the governing body of the school are kind of looking at, you've got drastic sort of budget cuts happening, you know, for schools. And we're thinking about saving money at all sort of different, you know, in terms of all of the different facets of operating a school. So I guess the time was really, you know, apt for us to start considering solar energy. And so hence Solar for Schools was one of the, you know, organizations that we initially had that discussion with, and the funding options presented via the National Grid, they sort of made real sense for us. And as a school, we wanted to reduce our operating costs and free up some of that budget to allow for staffing and resources. So over the duration of the time, Solar for Schools worked alongside us, alongside all the different sort of stakeholders involved in the school as well, to help us go solar. And so we had 111 panels installed. That's going back into April 25, so we haven't had a full year cycle yet. But what was really important for us was the sort of deliverability of the whole project and the timescales. And at the time, we were having some refurbishment at the school as well. And I remember we had like a new roof installed where this roof was going to have some of the solar panels installed on. But Solar for Schools were very hands-on, you know. I had a contractor in this room and we were discussing online. So the communication was really exceptional because we had a leaking roof. We had a new one put on, and it was down to this, you know, sort of minute detail of which kinds of brackets would be required, you know, not to penetrate the insulation board, so, you know, to make it water sealed. But it's that level of operation and helping us with the whole landlord approval. We're a maintained school, working alongside us with this Birmingham City Council. And what else was important was for us particularly was the children, and at the heart of it, the curriculum and our sustainability plan. And Solar for Schools sort of offered a real opportunity here for us to really get the children involved. And I remember Richard coming to the school right the way from doing a drone survey, which the kids were really, really excited about, to identifying where these are going to go. And then our pupil ambassadors getting involved in that whole design assembly approach, and learning the science behind it and from a STEM point of view. And the installation of the solar panels, I would say, has made that curriculum more concrete rather than abstract. So the children go onto the educational portal and look at, you know, energy usage, and they look at how much energy have we generated in kilowatt hours, and it's making sense to them. And these are children who really care about their planet and they care about their future, and how to protect their planet, and it gives them that additional sort of understanding of the environment that they're living in. And we did a recent video, which is on the Solar for Schools website, which you know, other schools can have a look at. And the children presented, you know, some of the sustainability projects and initiatives that we're doing here. So it's not just the monetary benefit and the monetary impact. I mean, in terms of money, probably our best months were in the summer. July, we saved approximately £1,400 in that month on our energy bills, and August another £1,100. So that kind of gives you an idea of how, you know, your electricity costs, and it's that long-term view that Nick was talking about, and, you know, really kind of considering this for the longevity of your school. But it's not that for us, just the monetary side of things. It's also really getting the children involved in how do we reduce our carbon footprint. The global goals have been something that we've taught here, you know, for many years, and that's part of our PSHEC curriculum. And the children have really been involved in it. And Solar for Schools have offered those opportunities to our children to kind of really dive deeper into it. And recently, last month, we were invited by Solar for Schools to come to the parliamentary showcase at the House of Parliament, where the children discussed, you know, and presented to a panel of MPs, delegates from the DFE, the National Grid, on what our sustainability plan is and how the solar panels on our school roofs have really made an impact, you know, for us to achieve that net zero that we're all aiming for. So I would say, I mean, Solar for Schools, we've not had any issues in terms of from their side of things. There was a period of time where the council wasn't sort of on board, and that took a little bit of time for us to really get them on board and get that landlord approval in place. But I mean, Richard and the team, you know, they were absolutely exceptional in terms of whenever you wanted to, you know, kind of get an update, they were on a Teams call with you, you know, and, you know, really giving you that clear guidance on this is the direction that it's going in, and this is what, you know, and they kind of take it all off your hands in that way. So yeah, I mean, I think we are really, really pleased with the solar panels. Obviously, time will tell in terms of what long-term benefit and impact it's making. But certainly in terms of your sustainability curriculum for the other schools, this is a really, really good project to get involved in. Thank you, Tom.
Wonderful, thank you, Afzal. And yeah, it was nice that you touched upon the Westminster event there, and you can see some photos of the pupils there, and I know they got a lot from that day. What I will do, Afzal, you mentioned about the video you shared with us. I'll share that link when I reach out to people after the webinar, and we'll share that video as well, because I've had a look at that and it's fantastic. So I will yeah, share that with everybody to see. So thank you very much, Afzal. Okay, we're going to move on, and Cindy, you are up next. So Cindy will give you a little bit of background to what she does. I'm sure lots of you are already working with or heard of Let's Go Zero. So Cindy, it's over to yourself.
Thanks, Tom. Good morning, everybody. Lovely to be here and speak to you all. Great presentation. It's great to hear from Adderley Primary and how Solar for Schools has supported them. So Let's Go Zero is a campaign that was set up around 4 years ago to help schools, colleges and nurseries to achieve zero carbon. And our campaign is now, I mean, I love that you've got 7,000 schools there. We've already smashed that, and we're now over 8,400 schools signed up to the campaign. And if you haven't signed your school up, please do. You won't be inundated with emails, but you will get some very useful information and be tied into the network. But the more schools that sign up, the better for us in terms of our policy work. So we have colleagues down in London speaking to government and to policymakers and to the DFE and to funders all the time, and the more schools that sign up, the sort of louder that voice is to get the right support in place for everybody to transition to zero carbon. The project that I work on is the Climate Action Advisor project, and our project is set up to help schools achieve the DFE's Sustainability Strategy Ask to have a climate action plan and a sustainability lead in place. So we will help offer free support to schools to devise a tailored climate action plan, or CAP as we call them. So we will listen to what the school has in terms of capacity, which is very important, but also priorities, and we'll help to tailor a CAP to suit that setting. There are 32 of us around the country, so I'll put some details in the chat in a moment as to how you can access that support. It's completely free, and the climate action plans that we devise cover the 4 headings that the DFE wish schools to have. So that's decarbonisation. So obviously solar panels, Solar for Schools really ties into that very obviously. The other 3 are biodiversity, so improving the school grounds for nature and access to nature for children as well. Adaptation and resilience, so how is your school coping with the changing climate? And then finally, climate education and green skills. And of course, that's another area that Solar for Schools really ties into. And I don't need to go over it again because it's already been spoken about very eloquently about how brilliantly Solar for Schools can do that. So really just to say, we have free support to any school or college or nursery that would like help devising their climate action plan. And what we do is we have a coalition of partners and lots of people that we work with, such as Solar for Schools, and we can signpost to the best resources and the best programs for your school to enable you to implement the actions within your plan. I know we're short of time, so I won't say much more other than I think what the work that we do and the plans that we devise and the support that we give you really complements that work if you're going to go ahead with a solar installation, because whilst you're saving the amount of electricity that you're drawing from the grid, what we help to do is enable you to reduce the amount of electricity that you need in the first place. So we will do a lot of work around helping you make sure that your heating controls, for example, I realise that's gas, so it's a different fuel, but help you to reduce your bills by reducing your consumption, and we'll support you and point you in the right direction of really good programs that can help you reduce your electricity consumption as well. So I've really whistled through that because I'm just very aware of time. There's lots more to say about it, but if you would like to have that free support from one of our climate action advisors who are, like I say, placed all around the country, so have really good local regional knowledge where your school or setting is, then please do get in touch, and I'll pop something in the chat in a moment. One last thing, we are asking all schools to sign up to that campaign, so I shall give you 2 links in the chat. One is to register for a climate action advisor to come and give you that free support, and the second is to sign your school up to that campaign. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. So Cindy is going to share those in the chat, and just to thank you on our behalf with Let's Go Zero. I think there's a few advisors on the call. Our SOLA advisors here at Solar for Schools have a good relationship with those advisors at Let's Go Zero, and we've had lots of conversations that have been instigated by Let's Go Zero when they're having those discussions with school, and Solar comes on the agenda. So it's another partnership that's working really well. So thank you for your time, Cindy. Okay, we've only got a few minutes left, but I know we've covered a lot. There are a few questions that are going into the chat, and I know Richard's working furiously to get those answered. So thank you, Richard. So there's just a few more slides from us, really, because we've had National Grid talk about their partnership with us, Adderley, who have benefited from us, Cindy at Let's Go to Zero, who again works closely with us and sort of recommend us to schools when they're having those conversations. And here at Solar for Schools, we offer that end-to-end support, which Afzal spoke highly about at Adderley. That includes doing our desktop surveys. So when we first speak to you as a school, we can use our panelizer. We can look at what solar will look like for your school, and also then what the carbon savings are and the financial savings. That progresses on to a full feasibility study where we would visit the school, and we can then pull a online software design for the school. And again, as Afzal mentioned, you're included throughout that process, where we're at the process, what's coming next, and there's time frame on that. We arrange all the construction, all the installation, everything goes through ourselves, and we work with the schools to obviously find that suitable time with the school as well. With the panels, there is an asset management service that goes with it. That's helped you to monitor your panels, and it helps us to monitor them, and also it includes an annual visit, and also ensures that the panels are working as they should, and also includes any repairs over the lifetime of the panels. We've heard from all the speakers today about our education, and that is what we are most passionate about, getting our team into schools, speaking with the pupils, helping the staff as well, working with sustainability leads, and really bringing everything together, and really bringing solar to life so everybody understands the impact it can have. And as we've touched upon, and I know this was some questions in the chat, we can look at various funding options from what we call a CBS, Community Benefit Society funded model, where this, or there could be another model where the school invests, and obviously we've also got that National Grid funding. So each school is different, and we will work with the school to find the best solution moving forward for the school, and that's something we can pick up. So we've only got a minute left. I'm going to just quickly share with you sort of our education impact. So again, we've touched upon this. This is currently being updated to 2025. And should be live within the next 3 to 4 weeks. And this just talks about the amount of schools that we've interacted with. So nearly 250 schools have visited. We've done over 200 assemblies, over 25,000 primary age pupils, and yeah, we've included 30 MPs with that as well, and we've also had nearly 400 interactive workshops. So it's been a busy year for our education team, and I know they're really excited this year because that's only going to get even more visits included in there, and we've got a really good working relationship with our schools. So please look out for that new education report that will be out in the next few weeks. And then just the last couple of slides that, again, I'll whiz through, but I will share these with you. So this looks at the portal manager system that you get for the school. Teachers can access that, business managers can access that as well, so they can look on a day-to-day basis the savings that are happening, and Afzal touched upon that as well. And also the pupils can use it as well, so they can bring to life STEM. It's great for maths projects as well, because you've got actual figures in there. So that's something that schools get access to as well, and we can advise how to use that and support on accessing that, and the use you can provide in schools. Talked about the panelizer, so this is where we'd love to get schools on a call and go through what solar would look like. We've got a digital calculator. We can put the panels on your schools. We work out from our live data of 300 schools what they generate, what they consume, and then we personalize that for your school and provide the figures for you. So that's kind of where we would love to be with all of you on the call today that have not had that process yet. And just the final slide is to kind of give you those next steps. And I know we've shared this link a couple of times in the chat, so it is there available. If you're unsure if you're eligible, please fill that link in, and I will get back to you personally within the next 48 hours once we've got your details, and then we can have that conversation. If you are eligible or there is potential for solar, what we would then do next from our end is ask for 12 months of electricity invoices. That would then allow us to see your consumption, the price that you currently pay, and then we would get you on a Teams call and run through everything with you. When I do share the slides as well, there's a fantastic video here with one of our schools, which is up in the north, and you can watch that, and it's got a few people talking on there about the work with St. Christopher's. So please give time to have a look at that once I share it with you. If there's any general questions that you just want to get in touch about, or you're already in conversation with us and want to follow up a bit more, please feel free to drop me an email. My email address is at the bottom there, so it's just tomd@Solar4Schools. And that, with a couple of minutes run over, brings us to the end of the slideshow. So I'm just going to close this down, and hopefully then we are about at the end. So I think Richard's answered every question that we've got in there, which looks at lifetime of panels, PPA. So please have a look over that. And I just want to finish by saying thank you to our speakers today. So Nick, Afzal and Cindy, it's a pleasure to have you on. And I know from some of the conversations I've already had, it's really important for them to hear from National Grid and about our partnership. And it's also lovely to hear about a school that's benefited from solar. And we always do recommend to our customers to get in touch with a school and actually hear it from them. And obviously Cindy and her team's expertise with working with 8,000 plus schools now, working with lots of schools across the country. And I know I'm fortunate enough to have a good relationship with advisors in my regions as well. So thank you all for joining us. It's been a really good turnout. If there's anything you need us to follow up with, feel free to get in touch. I will get a recording sent out to everybody and a few notes. That will be within the next couple of days. And yeah, look forward to hearing from those ones that we've not spoke to before, and any people that we're currently in conversations. Look forward to following up with you. So a big thank you to everybody, and enjoy the rest of your week.